The sound of a pen scratching paper, scritch, scritch. It is the loudest sound in the world when you are the one declaring a death. I have signed 4,000 death certificates. 4,000 times I looked at a cold body and wrote words like heart failure, stroke, or natural causes. I lied. I am 102 years old today. I am sitting in my study. The sun is warm on my back, but the book in my hands is cold. This is my black notebook from 1981. It smells of vanilla and old dust. This is where I kept the real records. The people I buried didn't die of bad luck. They didn't die of genetics. They died because they were comfortable. I need you to stop scrolling and listen. I am going to tell you why they really died. Because, looking at you, I see the same symptoms. In those hospital corridors back in the 72nds, the air always smelled of bleach and bad coffee. It was the smell of mistakes waiting to happen. We were arrogant. We wore our white coats like armor. We worshipped two false gods, comfort and the standard procedure. I remember the low-fat craze. It was a religion. We told patients to throw away their eggs and butter. We told them, eat whole grains, eat toast, eat margarine. We fed them processed sugar and told them it was virtuous. I watched their waistlines expand and their blood turn into syrup, and I just nodded and prescribed more pills. But the real killer was the furniture. My patients worked like dogs for 40 years. They sacrificed their sleep, their peace, and their families to build a nest egg. And what did they buy with that money? They bought the easy chair. They retired at 65, went home, and sat down. They thought they had won the game. They thought, I have worked hard, now I deserve to rest. They were wrong. They treated their bodies like machines that you park in a garage. They stopped walking. They stopped lifting things. They let the television wash over them for 6 hours a day. They called it the golden years. I looked at their charts and I saw the truth. It wasn't golden. It was atrophy. They believed that if they weren't in pain, they were healthy. That is the great lie of modern medicine. Silence is not health. Silence is often just the rot setting in deep, where you can't feel it yet. I was right there with them, signing the papers, nodding my head, until the day the silence broke in my own kitchen. My hand shakes when I turn to page 3201 of this notebook. The ink is smudged here. It's the only entry where I wasn't just a doctor. I was a husband. Her name was Martha. If you look at her official death certificate, it looks like a victory, deceased at 94. In the world of statistics, Martha was a success story. She beat the average life expectancy by 2 decades. People told me at the funeral, "You were so lucky to have her for so long." They were fools. They didn't see the 15 years before the end. Martha was a creature of habit. She loved her morning toast with strawberry jam. She loved her afternoon game shows. She loved the soft velvet armchair by the window. She trusted the magazines that told her walking was for the young and rest was for the old. I tried to warn her. I showed her the data. I told her, "Martha, Your blood sugar is spiking. Your muscles are dissolving. She would just smile, sip her sweet tea, and say, "Oh, let me be. We're retired." We made it, but we hadn't made it. The crash didn't happen with a siren or a scream. It happened in slow motion. It was the slow diminishment. I remember the Tuesday she couldn't open the jar of pickles. Her grip was gone. Then came the month she stopped going upstairs because her knees felt rusty. Then the year she stopped remembering the names of our grandchildren. Her brain was clogged with sugar and lack of oxygen. Her body was inflamed from sitting. I was 80 years old, still chopping wood in the backyard, still climbing the stairs 2 at a time, and I had to carry my wife to the bathroom. I watched the woman who used to dance in this very room turn into a ghost. She was there, but she wasn't there. She was trapped in a body that she had neglected. I sat by her bed for nights on end, listening to her shallow breathing. The room smelled of lavender and sickness. I held her hand. It was frail, like dry paper. I realized then that lifespan is a scam. Living to 94 is a punishment if you spend the last decade in a fog of pain and confusion. She looked at me one afternoon, her eyes milky and scared, and she whispered, "Why am I so tired?" I didn't have the heart to tell her the truth. I didn't tell her that the toast, the chair, and the comfort were the assassins. When she finally passed, I didn't feel triumph. I felt angry. I was left alone in a silent house, surrounded by the comfortable furniture that had killed her. I made a vow that day. I would not fade. I would not be comfortable. The day after the funeral, I threw away the easy chair. The garbage men looked at me like I was crazy. A 90-year-old man dragging a velvet recliner to the curb. But as I watched the truck take it away, I felt something I hadn't felt in decades. I felt lighter. I went back inside my quiet house, and I didn't sit down. I walked into this study, and I placed a small, mechanical kitchen timer on my desk. Tick, tick, tick. That was the beginning of my second life. I am 102 years old now, and I want to tell you something that sounds impossible. I am happier today than I was at 50. I have more energy now than I did when I was retiring. Let me show you my heaven. It isn't a place of rest. It is a place of rhythm, the bell of life. Every morning at 6 a.m., my timer starts. I set it for 50 minutes. I sit here, I read my journals, I write my notes. The sun streams in through the window, warming the old wood of my desk. It is peaceful. But then ding! That bell is my commandment. No matter what I am doing, no matter how tired I feel, I stand up. I don't groan. I don't complain. I treat it like a victory. I stand up to prove that I can. I walk to the window. I do 10 squats. I stretch my arms up to the ceiling until I feel the blood rushing into my fingertips. I feel the stiffness in my hips melt away like ice in the sun. For 5 minutes, I am a moving creature. I'm telling my body, we are not done yet, and my body answers, okay, let's go. The rebellion of the plate. Then I go to the kitchen. This is where the real joy happens. I used to eat like a prisoner of the food, pyramidary toast, skim milk, sadness. Now, I eat like a king. I heat up my cast iron skillet. I put a slab of real butter in it. Sizzle. The smell fills the kitchen rich, golden, alive. I crack 3 eggs. Sometimes I have a steak. My doctor, a young man of 40, told me 10 years ago that cholesterol will kill you. I outlived him. I sit at my small wooden table chewing slowly. I taste the food. My brain feels like a fog has lifted. That senior moment, confusion, gone. My mind is sharp as a tack because I am feeding it fuel, not sugar, the garden of defiance. In the afternoons, I don't nap. Napping is for the sick. I go out to my garden. This is my gym. I don't lift dumbbells. I lift soil. I prune the roses. I crouch down to pull weeds. Yesterday, I saw a butterfly land on a leaf. I held my breath, watching its wings beat. I realized that if I were like my old friends, I would be inside watching a screen. I would have missed this. I feel the dirt under my fingernails. I feel the sun on my neck. I feel the ache in my shoulders, not the ache of decay, but the good, honest ache of work. It is the feeling of being useful, the medicine of connection, and finally, I treat the silence. I learned that loneliness is a poison. It inflames the cells just as bad as smoking. So, at 4 p.m., I put on my coat. I walk down the street to the local library. I don't just check out books. I talk to the librarian. I ask her about her son. I make a joke with the young man shelving books. I force myself to connect. Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I want to hide. But I treat it like a medical emergency. I must speak to a human being today. And you know what? When I come home, the house doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels like a sanctuary. I sit here in the evening, writing in this notebook. My legs are tired from walking. My belly is full of good food. My mind is buzzing with the conversations I had. I look at my hands. They are wrinkled, they are spotted, but they are strong. I am not just surviving to 102, I am living. I have found peace, not in comfort, but in the discipline of being alive. I traded the easy chair for the garden, and in return, life gave me 20 more years of summer. I am closing this notebook now. The ink is dry. I can't save the 4,000 people I buried, and I couldn't save Martha, but I am looking at you. You don't need a heart attack to wake up. You don't need to wait until your hands shake to realize the truth. Dying before 80 is often a choice. It is a suicide by comfort. You are facing 5 assassins right now. The chair that stops your blood. The sugar that inflames your brain. The loneliness that breaks your heart. The lost sleep that steals your mind. The worry that spikes your cortisol. You think you are relaxing. You are actually decaying. Put down the phone. Look at your life. If you died tomorrow, Would you be proud of how you spent today? Did you move? Did you connect? Or did you just sit? I cannot fix your life. I can only show you mine. The timer is ticking. Tick, tick, tick. Stand up. I know you are tired. I can feel it through the screen. You have worked a long day. The world is loud. Your boss is demanding, and your bills are piling up. The chair you are sitting in right now feels like a sanctuary. You tell yourself, I deserve this rest. I will start living better when things calm down. I will take that walk when the weather is nice. I will eat better when I have more time. I need you to listen to me, because I have checked the pulses of 4,000 ghosts. Not one of them planned to die when they did. They all had plans for someday. They all thought they were banking energy for a future that never arrived. The brutal truth, the one that medical school didn't teach me but the morgue dides, that comfort is not a reward, it is an anesthetic. You think you are preserving your body by sitting still. You are not. You are rusting. The stiffness in your lower back is not just aging. It is the sound of your hinges seizing up. The fog in your brain is not fatigue. It is your mind suffocating from a lack of blood flow. You are waiting for a diagnosis to scare you into action. Do not wait for the doctor to tell you it is too late. By the time they give the condition a name, the damage is already 10 years deep. Here is my prescription. It costs nothing. Do not promise me you will change your life tomorrow. Promises are cheap. Do this right now. Set a timer on your phone for 1 hour. When it rings, stand up. I don't care where you are. Stand up. Walk to the nearest window or door. Look at the sky. Take 5 deep breaths. Fill your lungs until they stretch against your ribs. Remind your body that it is designed to move, not to store. Your heart is a pump, not a storage unit. Keep it running. The clock is ticking louder than you think. Don't let it hit 0 while you are sitting down.